Mo Salah, and it's ricocheted back in Jones' favour. He's outstretched his right leg as running back comes Brennan Johnson. He trips Johnson, and it's a free kick to Crystal Palace just outside of their own area, and they kill the momentum. Liverpool was starting to build at that point. May have been very close as to Mo Salah being in an offside position when the ball was played across, but the ball never got to him. The flag stays down. Right decision there by the linesman, and it'll be a Crystal Palace free kick, and Mitchell plays this back to Henderson. First touch takes this to his left-hand side outside of the 6-yard box. Second one will go deep towards Mateta. Header one again by Van Dijk, only as far as Wharton. Over the top to his right-hand side towards Munoz. It's knocked away by Robertson. Then Munoz plays it down the line for Sarr. Across the middle it goes towards the back post. No point remains to be seen. Quite a bit of success, but a poor run of form has certainly been raising some questions as to whether Glasner's the right man to take things forward for Crystal Palace. But you could say the same for his opposite number. Arne Slot certainly had his share of scrutiny at the Liverpool post. Of course, after the success of Jurgen Klopp winning the Premier League last season, Liverpool now fighting outside of the Champions League, haven't quite made the signings that they would have hoped for to continue to be as competitive at the top. As the first time ball over the top by McAllister, chased down by Salah, turned behind by Canva, and it's going to be a corner to Liverpool out on the right hand side. We'll have their first corner of the afternoon, and it's 5.5 minutes gone at Anfield. Liverpool 0, Crystal Palace 0 at the scoreline. A couple of other games in the Premier League to tell you about also. It's blocked and turned behind by Mitchell, but it's now Liverpool's turn in the ascendancy. His effort was blocked and cleared wide. Florian Wirtz tried to beat Henderson at his near post. In swinging corner again from the ram, goes towards the near post, punched on by Sarr. Konate gets there first and gets the ball away up towards the halfway line, and it's offside. The flag goes up against Mo Salah. It'll be a free kick to Crystal Palace. It was a good push away by Henderson, but he was impeded by the Liverpool captain, so he had a good argument as to why he feels he should have had a free kick. It's not turned into a Liverpool goal, so VAR won't need to worry too much about this. As Richards ball down the right hand side, Sarr tries to turn on Szoboszlai, goes all the way through to Woodman. First time clearance from the edge of the area from him. Upfield headed away by Richards and brought down by Wharton at the halfway line. Now it's with Munoz, pass inside, intercepted by McAllister. Now for Wirtz, into Gakpo, tackle by Kamada, ball falls to Johnson on the left hand side now for Crystal Palace. Threads it through with too much power on it. It's too far ahead of Mateta. It goes all the way through to Woodman, just outside of the 6-yard box. And the third choice Liverpool goalkeeper with his first Premier League start of the season. Of course, Mamardashvili was the chosen replacement for Alisson after he sustained an injury earlier on in the season. He was the one that was chosen for the cup competitions as well, was Mamardashvili. And now responsibility lies with Freddie Woodman. Earlier in his career, he did have a brief stint at Crystal Palace. And now Konate plays this out from the back to the right-hand side for Salah. Tackle comes in from Mitchell, now to Kamada. Out to the left-hand side again from Mitchell. And back to Kamada at the halfway line. Crystal Palace just... Mitchell has got Johnson alongside him for support, gets the ball caught up at his feet, still gets the pass off to Brennan Johnson, who switches this across to Richards, tests this ball away, he's under pressure from Isak, goes all the way back to his goalkeeper, and it's inside of the area now with Dean Henderson. Effort of clearance upfield, Mateta gets the free header but brings the ball down instead for Sarr, and then back to Mateta, and now to Wharton, out to his left hand side, finds Munoz by the touchline. Robertson's going to have to close him down as Munoz goes back towards the halfway line now to Richards, and into the middle it goes for Lacroix. Now out to Canva, onto the left hand side for Crystal Palace. Further over the left finds Mitchell, overpowering Liverpool at the moment. Cross comes in towards the middle, and it's away by Konate for a corner on the left hand side. Not too much the Liverpool centre back really knew about what was happening from the cross on the left hand side. Mitchell finding himself in that space, forced at that point Curtis Jones to move over, and it opened up that gap in the middle for multiple Crystal Palace players. But they are overloading Liverpool when pushing forward at the moment, are the visitors, and they've got their third corner of the game out on this left hand side, and it's within the first 10 minutes of the game. It's going to be another in-swinging corner on its way. Kamada's there for the short option, but it's a drifted corner towards the back post, headed across the middle for Lacroix, cleared away by Konate, back in by Wharton, again by Konate. Mateta lines up a shot, but it's away by Van Dijk. It's fallen on the edge of the area still though with Lacroix. Can he get across it? He's got pressure alongside him, brings it back now for Munoz, lets this run for Wharton. Munoz is still an option. Wharton's cross comes in, headed over by Richards. He got there ahead of Woodman, but couldn't keep his header down. It's a goal kick to Liverpool. Best chance of the game so far comes just over 10 minutes in, and it comes to Crystal Palace, unsurprisingly, after the way in which they've started this game. Cross came in from Wharton just outside of the area, and Richards found himself unmarked on the edge of the 6-yard box. Woodman came out to claim the ball, but the header was there from Richards just before Woodman could get to it, and that's where the goal kick comes from for Liverpool, as it's played short to Konate, poor pass in behind, and Liverpool inviting pressure at the moment inside of their own half, trying to play the ball out from the back. It was a short pass to Konate, as is the theme at the moment with these goal kicks. Woodman plays it short to Konate, he couldn't get the pass off to McAllister, and it puts Liverpool again on the back foot with more defending to do, as up from the back comes Richards and Lacroix again. Cambot making his presence felt inside that 6-yard box around Konate, leaves Mateta on his own just in front of Woodman, and the referee instructs that the corner can now be taken. Wharton on the left hand side to do the honours. Cross comes in towards the back post again for Lacroix, heads this back across the middle towards Mateta, away by Van Dijk, headed down, but Robertson wins the header towards McAllister. It's cleared out onto the right hand side and headed away by Tyreek Mitchell just before it gets to Mo Salah, and it's Crystal Palace back in possession inside of their own half with Chris Richards. Into the middle now for Wharton, he's got time to turn on the ball outside the centre circle, takes this into Liverpool's half, ball over the top towards Brennan Johnson. He's going to give chase, he's up against Van Dijk, receives a push in the back, but a free kick's going to be given in favour of Liverpool. Brennan Johnson in an offside position, so the offside trap working at the moment for Liverpool in the opening 11 minutes of this game. It's been very difficult for Crystal Palace to spring it legally, getting caught out multiple occasions at the moment by Liverpool, and they've got another free kick for an offside now, the third occasion of it in the first quarter of this game. Van Dijk just issuing instructions for players to push forward as he plays it 5 yards to his right now for Konate, as the gap opens up now out to Curtis Jones and back to Konate. Can take this up towards the centre circle as Johnson, Mateta and Sarr all step away. Now out to Van Dijk, all the way back to Woodman, inside of the area, closed down by Sarr. Woodman gets the ball away just in time. Header won there by Tyreek Mitchell. It's brought down by McAllister, but he's under pressure facing his own goal. Has to go back to Woodman again. And Woodman just inside of the area. And he's given the ball back as a free kick's been given for the late challenge by Brennan Johnson on Alexis McAllister. And that's where the ball's gone to from Dominic Szoboszlai from this free kick. And now it's to Van Dijk, back across to McAllister, outside of the centre circle. Ball over the top to the left-hand side. Gakpo's just trying to chase down to keep that in play, can't do so. Throwing on the right-hand side now for Liverpool inside of their own half. Chasing that down on the left-hand side was Cody Gakpo. And across comes Daniel Munoz to do so. And he tries to make himself an option further down the line, as it will be Chris Richards to take this throw in. Munoz is down the line to his left-hand side. He's got support there in Lacroix. Throws it down towards him. It's cleared away by Robertson. On as far as the edge of Crystal Palace's area, and it's further away by Wharton. Mateta's going to chase this down. He's up against Konate. Konate gets himself between the player and the ball, and it's the most blatant push you'll see all afternoon from Jean-Philippe Mateta, and it gives the free kick to Liverpool. It's taken quickly by McAllister. The referee forces it to go back, but Mateta headed the ball past Konate, who then got between the two, and Mateta just arms full stretch there to push Konate down. And now Van Dijk plays this across to Ibrahima Konate, outside of the centre circle, up towards Szoboszlai, now out to Jones with his first touch. Curtis Jones brings this back inside. He's got Konate again to his left. That's where he chooses to play the ball. And further over now to Van Dijk. And now to Robertson. Robertson's got Gakpo further to his left, inside to McAllister. And now to Gakpo, back to Robertson. Liverpool forced back into their own half. Really struggling at the moment are the hosts, as Van Dijk's long ball over the top. Gakpo's let that run. Isak's going to get this by the corner flag. He's definitely onside. Flag has stayed down as it's brought back now for Gakpo. Cross comes in towards the middle, headed away by Lacroix. Out to Konate on the right hand side. Out to Jones by the touchline, deep inside of Crystal Palace's half, just on the edge of the area now with Salah. Brings this back. Jones takes a touch inside, then tries to thread it through to Szoboszlai. It's blocked by Kamada. Can't get away from Dominic Szoboszlai. He's gone down, wants a free kick, and that's what's been given. But Salah and Dominic Szoboszlai neither said they'd heard the whistle from the referee. And play had continued for those moments. Now just on the edge of the Crystal Palace area is where it'll be taken from with Canva. And Kamada's just ahead of him, as is Wharton. Mateta playing on the last man of Ibrahima Konate. 15 minutes gone here at Anfield. Liverpool 0, Crystal Palace 0. If you are just joining us, thank you for choosing Flashscore as your unofficial coverage of the Premier League this afternoon. As Henderson sends this long ball over the top towards Mateta. It's headed away first though by McAllister. Back down by Kamada, further away by Szoboszlai, and then Richards just throws a challenge in there, gets the ball through towards Sarr, but Van Dijk reads it well and gets there first, plays it back to Woodman, inside the 6-yard box. His ball upfield's brought down by Tyreek Mitchell, inside now to Kamada, out to the left hand side for Mitchell, now for Johnson, brings this inside of 2 Liverpool players onto the edge of the area. Chance opens up for him, but he just rolls the ball into the arms there of Woodman. He's gone down and he's holding on to his right shoulder, where that's an awkward landing from Brennan Johnson. Look at this ball inside of Konate and past Szoboszlai. It just opened up for him on the edge of the area. And things carry on. It is a corner at the moment to Liverpool. It's gone short and it's working its way back at the moment instead of forward, but no injury concern for either of these two sides based on the incident that just took place, as it switched over to Salah on the right. And now to Konate, turns back in towards his own half. Konate plays this all the way back to Woodman on the edge of his area. Back out to Konate. Down the right hand side for Jones. And then back to Konate, all the way back to Woodman, just inside of his own area. 20 minutes now on the clock. Still Liverpool trying to get themselves anything inside of Crystal Palace's half. They're struggling to maintain possession as soon as they move out of their own half. And at the moment, just outside of their own area, Crystal Palace just standing off and allowing Liverpool to maintain that possession as it goes to Konate. Across the edge of the area now to Van Dijk. It's a heavy pass. His first touch maintains possession. Has to get the clearance away though, and it's out into the stands. There'll be a Crystal Palace throw-in on the right-hand side, just in front of the technical area, as Arne Slot issues further instructions to his Liverpool players. Plenty of speculation as to whether he'll be at the helm at Liverpool next season. As Munoz throws this back to Richards, and Richards all the way back to Henderson. On the edge of the area, Henderson gets this ball upfield. Mateta goes up for the header and flicks this on into space as Sarr makes the run down the right hand side. He's got options in the middle, brings it back to Johnson, first time effort over. Goal kick to Liverpool. But Crystal Palace, they were outnumbered as they were pushing forward. It was a well won header by Mateta, just got there ahead of Van Dijk, who made the defensive error of just waiting for the ball to get to him. It was flicked on and Sarr was definitely onside, but I think Robertson had so much faith in his centre back that he didn't follow the run of Ismaila Sarr. It gave him the chance, and as he dragged it back for Brennan Johnson, his first time effort goes over the crossbar, lands on the roof of the goal, in fact, and it's a Liverpool goal kick played out now to Van Dijk. Now into the middle for Jones. Up towards the halfway line as Szoboszlai looks like he's sat in at right back currently. Now to McAllister towards Wirtz, but it's won back by Wharton. And now away comes Canva, over the top towards Mateta, headed away by Konate. McAllister tries to get there ahead of Sarr. It's Sarr that wins the ball though, and it's out to Munoz for Crystal Palace. Now inside for Kamada. Looks out to his right hand side. Munoz has made the run, so he's had to go back to Richards as that path's been blocked out now with Wharton. Shaking his head at the referee's initial decision. If it's going to be anything, it's going to be a free kick on the edge of the area. Potential penalty. And the referee is going across to check the screen, so that whatever decision he's made on field, of course being the last man, but you can't send the player off for a challenge like that. If you're given a penalty, it would have to be a yellow card to Brennan Johnson. At the moment, neither's been given. Andy Madley's just having a look at the monitor on the side. Both captains have been sent away by the linesman, doing his duties just to ensure that there's no input from either captain to sway the decision. But Neil Davis, we can see, is speaking to Andy Madley to get to a verdict here and a decision. That is an outstanding challenge from Brennan Johnson. I'm glad I got it right the first time around, because the second angle looked like he'd completely missed the ball. But from this angle, looking just behind Brennan Johnson, he's swung in with the right foot and it's tipped the ball onto the toe of Mo Salah. So Andy Madley steps away from the screen. He gives the signal that indicates that he's had a look at VAR, and his initial decision is going to be changed. So Arnie Slot is not happy with the verdict that has been given. It is a great challenge from Brennan Johnson, and it's the right decision, as Arnie Slot is furious that the penalty's been overturned, and it's going to be a goal kick to Crystal Palace. And it's a great challenge that's coming from Brennan Johnson. And he made up good ground as well, because Salah had to run on him down that left-hand side. And immediately Brennan Johnson's hand's gone up to say that he's won the ball. The goal kick's taken short by Dean Henderson, and Arnie Slot is still having a word with the fourth official. If he's not careful, there might need to be a booking shown to Arnie Slot, as it's headed away now by Virgil van Dijk. Robertson's going to have a job to keep that in play. He does, but he hacks away at the clearance. First touch by Wharton's not good enough to keep possession. It's now with McAllister, who goes down and is bundled down by Daniel Munoz on that right-hand side. It's now a free kick to Liverpool inside of their own half. By the touchline, it's played by Robertson across the middle to Woodman. And the referee's just said that the free kick needs to be taken again, as Woodman gets the ball out to his right-hand side to Salah, as the ball was rolling when the free kick was initially taken by Andy Robertson. He'll put the ball back down, he'll do the exact same thing again, and we will be able to get things back underway. Over halfway through this first half, Liverpool up against it against Crystal Palace, despite the scoreline still being goalless between the two sides. Out it goes now to Robertson, into the opposition half. Robertson down the line, first touch pass by Wirtz back to Szoboszlai, and then into his own half to Virgil van Dijk. Across the middle to Konate. Outside of the centre circle, now to Van Dijk. As Robertson still to his left-hand side, as Sar's moved more centrally. Gets the ball to Robertson, and now all the way back to Woodman on the edge of the area. Woodman to his right-hand side for Konate. And now back to Woodman. Woodman distributes this long this time towards Cody Gakpo. Up he goes towards the header with Richards. Heads this ball on. Wirtz is going to chase this down. Away it goes by Lacroix up towards the halfway line. Headed down by Robertson, then to Szoboszlai. Back to Robertson again. By the touchline inside now for Van Dijk. Line, but plays it right to Konate, who's got more space to venture into the opposition half, and he finds Jones in the opposition half, and Liverpool finally have the ball back in possession inside of Crystal Palace's side. But it's only momentarily, as it's forced back to Konate inside of Liverpool's half. And this press from Crystal Palace, forcing Liverpool back each and every time. They're not able to create anything inside of Crystal Palace's half, and if I'm honest, at this point, I couldn't really remember telling you a shot that Liverpool have had, as Woodman's ball away is brought down by Mitchell as it goes just over Jones, and now inside to Kamada, and now it's Palace back in possession to Lacroix, and now Mitchell to Kamba, all the way back to Henderson inside the 6-yard box. Gets this away under pressure from Salah. It goes above Mitchell, can't be kept in play there by Johnson. A throw into Liverpool on the right hand side, taken by Curtis Jones. Throws this back to Konate, back to Jones. Jones back towards his own area, on the edge of the area now with Woodman. Woodman with options either side to him, as again Crystal Palace stepping off, forcing the long ball by Freddie Woodman, and as it goes over it's headed down by Gakpo. He's going to have to chase it himself. Across comes Isak, but again away by Lacroix, who's been just sweeping things up throughout this first half so far excellently. Hardly been able to say the name of Alexander Isak in terms of what he's done on the pitch so far. He's been really crowded out by Crystal Palace defensively, and that's exactly how Oliver Glasner will have set up his side. There will of course be links taking him towards some of the vacant positions towards the end of this season, the likes of Chelsea already, Bournemouth perhaps, and even the potential of Arsenal if things don't go their way and they do decide to move on from Mikel Arteta. As now Salah gets the ball on this right hand side, tries to beat Lacroix, whose outstretched left foot turns the ball behind. Corner for Liverpool on the right hand side now. And of course the final absence post is of course Manchester United, with no confirmed decision on whether Michael Carrick will remain in charge next season. So Oliver Glasner still auditioning for some of the bigger jobs in the Premier League. He's done really well with Crystal Palace, as they've got a brand new identity and they've stuck to it well. They have caused a lot of trouble for a lot of sides, as Konate and Van Dijk are crowding Dean Henderson inside the 6-yard box. Cross comes in towards the near post, headed away by Lacroix. Up goes Johnson, but it's headed back in by Jones, and it's left to run by Henderson behind for a goal kick. I think he's just heading it over the top, hoping that there'd be somebody in there to capitalise on it at the back post. been able to do so. And Henderson will have the goal kick to take. And takes it to the left-hand side of his 6-yard box. And places the ball down. He's still got options either side of him. He's got LaCroix and Cambot. Instead goes over to Richards. Gets this ball further upfield towards Mateta. There's a tussle going on between him and Canate, left by the referee. It's headed down by Canate though, and it's with Jones. Now to McAllister. McAllister's passed down the lines, taking a deflection. It forced Salah to come short to get it. Now gives it to Soboslai. Switched over to his left-hand side. Brought down by Gakpo. Waiting for the overlapping run here by Robertson. Gakpo forced back towards his own halfway line. He gets the pass off now to Virgil van Dijk. Through the middle for Soboslai. First touch dribbles this inside, and now Kamada gets to him. Out to his right-hand side finds Jones. Jones down the line for Salah. Jones continues the overlapping run. The chase hasn't been given there by Johnson. Space here for Jones. His cross is deflected. It's fallen back to Salah, and it's sent into the stands. Goal kick for Crystal Palace. Best chance for Liverpool in this first half comes just after the half-hour mark as Jones continued that overlapping run. Brennan Johnson didn't follow him, and Jones's cross came off the heel there of Campbell, and it fell straight into the path of Mo Salah, who just took the effort in his stride. I think he'd have been better off leaving that for Dominic Soboslai. But he got too much under the ball, and it sends it into the stands. And we will now have a goal kick to Crystal Palace again. And Dean Henderson will receive a yellow card as it's played short to Campbell. Towards the halfway line. Salah goes up for the header, misses it, as does Robertson, but Salah keeps it in play. Now for Munoz, back to Sarr. His pass has taken a touch off Gakpo and falls to Wirtz. Now for McAllister, in for Soboslai and back to Canate, but Crystal Palace crowding at that point as soon as Liverpool got the possession back. And now Jones down the right-hand side for Salah. Tries to get some space here ahead of Cambot. He's tried to beat him towards the corner flag. Crystal Palace defender gets himself in the way and lets the ball out of play for a goal kick. And he's done well just to keep Mo Salah quiet at that point. Goal kick again to Crystal Palace, but as soon as Liverpool are getting possession, they're forced to go long with the ball. The three centre-backs of Cambot, LaCroix and Richards dealing with absolutely everything that's coming their way so far, but they're having to go long with the ball because the short passes, they're just being crowded out. The channels are being cut out too quickly by Crystal Palace. This is an excellent job from them so far, just to keep Liverpool at bay. Certainly the favourite of the two sides is with the hosts. Kamada's ball out to the left-hand side for Tyreek Mitchell. Down that left-hand side by the touchline. Jones closes this down on the edge of the area. Mitchell tries to beat him. Tackle comes in from Jones. Mitchell retains possession though and goes back to Johnson. Johnson's cross goes in towards Mateta, but it's headed away first by Canate. Chased down by Wirtz, who gets there in between Cambot and LaCroix. Out to the right-hand side now for Salah. Tries to dribble it back, but it's well read and received by Cambot, who takes it back towards the corner flag, just puts it out of play for a throw-in, opted not to go back to Henderson, apologises, and the throw-in's taken quickly by Salah to Wirtz. Now back to Salah, and now Jones just inside of Crystal Palace's half, across the middle now for Canate, outside of the centre circle, out to Robertson. Robertson now back to Van Dijk. Van Dijk to Gakpo. Back to his left-hand side, he's still got Robertson. Gakpo goes inside though to Soboslai, inside the centre circle, out to the right-hand side for Jones. Jones back to the halfway line now for Canate. Canate through the middle. Gap opening up now for Wirtz. Across to Gakpo. Lets this run. It's with Robertson on the edge of the area. Chance opening up through the middle. It goes. Effort by Soboslai's blocked. Isak can't get there first, and LaCroix will clear the lines for Crystal Palace. It's won back by McAllister. Now to Robertson and back to McAllister, and it's still Liverpool at the moment in possession. McAllister across the middle. It goes to Canate. Out to his right-hand side for Jones. On the edge of the area. Options still in the middle. Plenty of them for him as it just slows down for him slightly. Gets this ball back to Canate. Has to rush there first as Mateta tries to win it back, and Canate is forced all the way back to Woodman. And it's not what Liverpool would have wanted from the situation they're in just a moment ago. Inside from Canate. Now with McAllister. Out to his right-hand side. Salah lets this run across his body. He's up against Cambo. Takes it to the edge of the area. Cambo gets in, but it's still with Salah. Chance inside the area. Chipped in towards Isak. Headed away by Richards. On the edge of the area. Falls to McAllister. It's fallen to Isak. Sent goalwards. It's turned in by Alexander Isak, who wheels off in celebration. The ball got to the edge of the area and the effort was blocked, and it just fell back into the path of Isak, whose effort off the ground looped over Dean Henderson into the corner. The flag stayed down. We'll have a check to see if he was in an offside position when the ball was played initially. But Crystal Palace just couldn't clear the lines for the moment, and they've been so good defensively against this Liverpool side. But just as they started to step things up, Alexander Isak gets himself on the score sheet. A reminder of just what finishing ability he has as to why he was signed from Newcastle United. Out to the right-hand side it went for Salah. Salah managed to get the run inside. Cambot couldn't get the clearance away. Salah's ball towards Isak was headed away by Richards. Just looking at the ball back in from McAllister. He was definitely onside. Lacroix's put his hand up for offside, and it's Cambot the one that's keeping him onside. He's got back up to his feet after the challenge with Salah, but he was slow to get back out in line with the rest of his teammates, and that's what's kept him onside. So this goal's going to stand. Liverpool are going to have the lead against Crystal Palace, and it's Alexander Isak, the goal scorer. Just a looping ball over Dean Henderson. There's a couple of players that have appealed to the linesman for the offside, and it's absolutely the right decision to keep that flag down. The last person that can have any complaints, and it is Cambot that's done so, is him in particular. He's the one that's kept him onside, and JD Cambot will just need to try and step up and keep up with play. But there's not going to be a check now for VAR. The goal's going to stand. Just under 10 minutes left of the first half. Liverpool 1, Crystal Palace 0. Ball back to Henderson. First time clearance headed away by Konate. Up towards the halfway line. Richards plays it through to Wharton. Chest this inside to Kamada. Up towards Mateta and away by Van Dijk. First touch by Alexander Isak. Out to his right hand side. It's just to the right hand side of Salah, so he's taking it wide. But he's up against Tyreek Mitchell into his left foot. Cross comes in towards Isak. Away it goes by Lacroix again up towards the halfway line. Headed down by Konate. Out to Mitchell. Now with Kamada. Kamada looks for that gap on the left hand side. It's going to be chased down by Saar, but it's going all the way through to Woodman, who takes a touch inside of the area and then will pick the ball up just to compose things and slow things down for himself, and has the chance to do just that. Plays it out now to Konate. Now to Soboslai. Back to Konate. On the edge of the area. Now for McAllister. First time ball over to his right hand side in search of Isak. As him and Salah have just swapped momentarily. Thrown on the left-hand side now for Crystal Palace, and it's going to be taken by Tyreek Mitchell. Throws this back now to Cambot, and across the middle it goes to Lacroix. Lacroix to Richards.